Okay, so we're going to focus on question analytical writing assessment of GRE. The question is, the surest indicator of a great nation is represented not by the achievements of its rulers, artists, or scientists, but by the general welfare of its people. Write a response in which you discuss the extent to which you agree or disagree with the statement and explain your reasoning for the position you take in developing and supporting your position. You should consider ways in which the statement might or might not hold true, but explain how these considerations shape your position. Response 1. The general welfare of a nation's people is undoubtedly an essential aspect of making that country great. While achievements from rulers, artists, and scientists may bring prestige and admiration to a nation, if the general public is not receiving adequate care, support, and opportunities to succeed, then the country's greatness is limited. I therefore completely agree with the statement that the surest indicator of a great nation is represented by the general welfare of its people. Firstly, the indicators of a great nation inherently favor the overall health of its population. A great nation should be an example in the international community of how to provide adequate education, healthcare, and employment opportunities. The well-being of the population is a central tenet of a functioning democracy. So, a country that is excluded from that is unlikely to be considered great. For example, the United States has a long history of democratic leadership and technological advancement, but homelessness, poverty, and inequality are the prevalent issues that overshadow these achievements. Additionally, the state of the people's welfare determine how much of a nation's achievements spread throughout the population. A society that doesn't adequately care for its people doesn't offer a route to upward mobility. If too much wealth, power, and prestige are concentrated at the top tiers of society, then many will be unable to access these benefits. Conversely, if the population has access to resources and education, then the achievements will be shared amongst them, allowing the country to be considered great for reasons beyond the elite. Moreover, the people power a country's progress. So investing in them is imperative. Alleviating poverty and improving conditions for the population creates more skilled workforce that leads to a healthier economy. In contrast, an oppressed population will not realize their full potential, leading to a slower rate of progress. A great nation should be known for uplifting its people, providing opportunity to succeed, and encouraging them to become the best versions of themselves. A country that doesn't align its policies with the well-being of its population risks becoming less relevant on the world stage. If a country focuses too much on its ruling class, scientific community, or the artists, their imbalance can stifle progress. Focusing on one aspect of a country can impede the other vital areas of progress. For example, Saudi Arabia is a country with significant natural resources, wealth, and influence, but its citizens are not afforded basic human rights or democratic freedoms. As a result, Saudi Arabia has become known not for its strong social fabric or care of its population, but for its dependence on oil and its disregard for human dignity. In conclusion, I believe that the welfare of a nation's people is the surest indicator of its greatness. The health, education, and economic potential of its citizens have a great correlation with the country's regard in the international community. When a nation invests in its people, it will flourish and unlock its full potential. Conversely, a nation that neglects its population and disregards their welfare will fail to reach its full potential, regardless of the politicians, scientists, or artists involved. Response 2. The criterion for a great nation is a topic that has been widely debated among scholars and policymakers. Some suggest that country's greatness is based on the accomplishment of its leaders, artists, or scientists, while others argue that it is best represented by the general welfare of its people. Personally, I concur with the second viewpoint, where the well-being and happiness of citizens should be primarily measure of a great nation. To begin with, a nation's strength lies in the collective efforts of its people. A country with a robust economy, a steady employment rates, and low poverty levels is a sign of great nation. When people live in prosperous and optimistic conditions, they can contribute meaningfully to the growth and development of their country. On the other hand, the achievement of rulers, artists, scientists may not always reflect the true state of a nation, and the accomplishment of a few individuals cannot cover up the plight of the majority of people. Furthermore, a prosperous nation is marked by the availability of basic amenities such as healthcare, education, and clean water. When individuals have access to these resources, they can improve their living conditions and contribute to their country's progress. Countries that prioritize these social goods typically have higher literacy rates, fewer preventable diseases, and a better quality of life for their citizens. Therefore, a nation's success depends on the availability of these basic needs and the ability of the government to ensure that citizens receive them. Moreover, a great nation fosters a sense of community and belonging among its people. The unity of citizens is critical to the success of any country. A sense of shared identity and belonging promotes a sense of cooperation and shared goals among citizens, which leads to collective efforts and achievements. On the other hand, countries with divisions and conflicts among their people are less likely to achieve positive outcomes because of these rifts. Thus, a country must prioritize social equity and peaceful coexistence among its people. In conclusion, while the accomplishments of rulers, artists, and scientists may gain attention, they do not necessarily represent the true strength and resilience of a great nation. Instead, the general welfare of citizens, including economic prosperity, basic needs availability, the social cohesion, is what truly marks a nation's greatness. Achieving these factors requires the efforts of both government and its citizens to work together towards building a prosperous, equitable, and peaceful nation. Through these considerations, I maintain that the well-being of and happiness of the people, rather than the accomplishments of its leaders, artists, and scientists, is the surest indicator of a great nation. Response 3. There is no doubt that the welfare of the people is a crucial aspect of a great nation. I believe that the statement is true to a considerable extent, since the well-being of the people represents the success of a country's policies and the effectiveness of its governance. In this essay, I will explain why I agree with this statement. Firstly, a great nation has an inclusive system of government that caters for the needs of all its citizens. Good governance is all about listening to the people, understanding the problems, and acting to address those issues. This is why democratic countries usually fare better than authoritarian systems. In a democratic society, the government uses the voices and votes of people to make policy decisions that promote the welfare of the people. A ruling elite that ignores the majority's voice in the name of national interest is bound to fail in the long run. History is littered with examples of regimes that imposed tyranny on their people in the quest for greatness, but ended up being overthrown by popular rebellions. Secondly, a great nation takes the stance that the welfare of the people is a collective responsibility. This means that everyone, from the rulers to ordinary citizens, must work together to achieve the common goal. A country where everyone acknowledges their individual importance in making the nation great has more potential to succeed than one where only a few elite individuals are celebrated for their achievements. In such a society, the government invests in public projects such as infrastructure, education, healthcare, and social welfare programs for the poor. This approach ensures that everyone, irrespective of their social and economic standing, has access to basic needs and services that guarantee their livelihood. Thirdly, a great nation is one where the citizens are happy, healthy, and secure. The government's priorities must be aligned with the citizens' interests to achieve these outcomes. This means that a country that invests in providing universal health care, education, and society and social security has a great potential of being a great nation. Such policies promote a sense of unity and solidarity among the people, which is essential in building strong institutions and promoting long-term economic growth. Nevertheless, it is also possible to argue that a great nation is represented by the achievements of its rulers, artists, and scientists. These men and women shape the country's culture, heritage, and history, and their contribution often attract international attention and admiration. The embody of nation spirit and aspirations and represent its global standing. Therefore, it is hard to dismiss the role of artists, scientists, and rulers play in depicting a nation's greatness. In conclusion, the welfare of the people is an excellent indicator of a great nation. This is because society that fosters mutual respect, equality, and social justice has a greater potential to succeed than one that is ruled by their self-interest and oppressive policies. There is a need for the collective effort to promote the common good, and the government should facilitate this by investing in public projects and address the citizens' needs. At the same time, it is crucial to acknowledge the role of artists, scientists, and rulers play in shaping the nation's greatness. Nonetheless, these accomplishments should not supersede the importance of welfare of the people in determining the greatness of a nation. Thank you.